Welcome to the best week of the year, the Fantasy Golf Gods podcast of Masters Breakdown, Course, and Tournament Preview. We are your host. I'm Rusty Miller. That's Matt Jacobs.
What's up, guys?
And our good buddy who's filling in again, Joe Stratton. What's up, guys?
Not much. What's going on, man?
Oh, can you feel it?
It's an exciting time.
What about you?
It's still too far away. I want it here now.
Yeah. So we're filming Tuesday,
No, Wednesday.
before the Houston Open.
And at this point, who wants to watch the Houston Open?
It's golf, so I'll watch it, but I am ready for next week for sure. So I'm excited. Today we're going to talk about the course, kind of how the lay is out, what is some of the key holes and features, and then some of the trends going into the year. Who's done well here in the past and how they've done that, things like that. So we'll get into that a little bit. We will be doing our regular podcast with a breakdown of DraftKings salaries and who we like and why we like them, and that'll be coming out in the next day or two, early next week at the latest. Matt and I will have that. I'm not sure if Joe's schedule allows him to pop in again, but we'll figure that out. And then we will be doing a live ownership projection and Q&A the night before the Masters. So I'll post it on Twitter, but probably 9 p.m. to 10 or until the questions quit coming.
Or the tournament starts.
Or until the tournament starts. We may go all night. So I'm excited. I probably won't sleep much that night anyway. It's like kids before Christmas, right?
I've already told my wife I can't do anything Thursday morning. I've got work covered till later in the day. I'm not leaving the couch.
I take vacation every year
Yeah.
for this, so
Yeah.
Thursday through Sunday I'm
Which
off.
was problematic when we worked together.
Yeah, a
But
little bit.
now that we don't, it's all good. So I assume you'll be coming over to watch it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's get into it. We want to talk about the course. Tell me what you know.
All right, so this course is... not many people have played here before.
No.
I don't know if you know a lot about the course. It's located in the small town of Augusta, Georgia. It's actually a really not nice town at all, but beautiful gym hidden in the middle of nowhere. But we're playing on a par 72 course, 7,435 yards. We've got 4 par 5s. We got a bunch of par 4s. One big one at 500 plus yards. A couple, one drivable one. Some good par 3s of normal length on the PGA Tour course. And then one really long one.
Yeah.
At, I think, 240 or something.
Yeah, 240.
It makes this course one of the longer ones on tour.
Yeah.
It is 7,400 plus yards, but it plays every bit of that with all the undulation and the changing of the land.
Yeah, because you're going downhill on some holes and then back uphill a little bit on other holes, and it's a neat course.
Yep. Built in the early
1900s. I think.
1900s by Bobby Jones.
Yep.
So he was a founding member of the course.
Little fun fact about that: did you know when they designed the course, he wanted a 19th hole,
No.
so that if a loser, they played the 18 and you lost, that they had the 19th hole, so you could try to do a double or nothing on the 19th hole, but they decided not to.
Me and you've done that many of times.
Yes. So he wanted it on the course.
Well, we just go back to number 1 or 18
Because
again.
how cool would that be if that 19th hole just sits there,
Yeah.
and only when there's a tie after...
It would have come in play last year.
yeah. I mean,
That'd
how many
be
times
cool.
would that have been really neat? That hole only gets played for ties.
Yeah, that would have been really cool because, Sergio or Rose obviously would have never have played that hole other than practice rounds maybe. But it'd be cool if they wouldn't let them play
that'd
until,
be pretty neat.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Tell us about the weather, what we know 10 days out.
Yeah, so looking at the forecast here, looks like there's not going to be a ton of rain, actually. 40% chance on Wednesday, so, that could soften up the conditions a little bit. Thursday, Friday.
Better not ruin the par 3. contest.
Yeah, it's gotten washed out a few times, so hope not. But yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's going to be ideal. 5 to 10 miles per hour wind, so not too much. 10% chance of rain, and then Sunday it's actually about a 60% chance of rain. So that could.
But again, we are 10 days out, so that could
Anything can change.
go up or
Right.
down. But that's another thing we will be covering on our live show the night
Any
before.
changes that we
Any-
see or hear.
and see if there's any obviously tee advantages morning or afternoon because of
Yeah.
wind or rain or anything like that. So an interesting thing about the field this year, it is currently at 87 golfers. One more could get in if they win the Houston Open this week.
Ian Poulter. To some of our fans out there that love Ian Poulter, I
Yeah.
think he's going to win.
So I don't think he's going to win.
No,
But Luke List could win.
I like Luke List this week.
And he could get in the Masters if he gets in. So it's 87 right now. It's the smallest field that Augusta's had or the Masters have had since 1997. So
Do you know who won in 97?
Tiger Woods.
Thank you. By how many strokes?
A million.
Yes.
So
Coincidence? I think not.
okay, stop
Sorry.
talking. So typically there's 70 golfers that make the cut, which would make it really short. Here, that's not the case. It's the top 50 and anybody within 10 shots of the lead. So it could be the 50 number, or it could go up to 60 or 70. Typically, it's right around the 50 number. And there is no MDF for the Masters. If you make the cut, you play Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday.
So historically, cut lines over the last few years. Last year was 7. Year prior 3. Year prior 3. Prior to that was 5, and then 5, and then 6 in 2012. So a little over par, depending on conditions. I know last year we had some windy conditions, if I remember right, the first couple of days.
First
So
couple days were a little windy.
if it's good conditions this year, I would expect it to be in that 2 to 4 mark.
Yeah.
If it's windy, and as I know they've been getting a lot of rain down there, and it's soft and it's playing long, it could be up that 5, 6, 7 mark again.
Yep. So it is a good test. It is not one of these courses that you expect somebody to go and shoot 20 under, but it could get pretty deep. But the cut's usually over par by a handful.
And I think it will be that this year as well.
Yeah. So, anything you guys got on that right now?
Not.
Okay.
No.
So what we want to do is bring up the holes, kind of talk about them, see which ones are going to impact the conditions the most, and then kind of go from there. So number 1 is a slight dog leg right, par 4. It does play over par by a third of a stroke, so there is a lot of bogeys there. It's not too hard to get there. There is a fairway bunker and a greenside bunker, but the green is where you're going to. It's your first hole, so you're nervous probably.
Yeah, so I feel like this one,
And
'cause
but your green is very tricky, and a lot of the greens at Augusta are really tricky.
your green
but-
is huge here, but I think your biggest shot comes from right here on the tee. It's the first hole of the Masters. I don't care what golfer it is, Tiger, Arnie when he was playing, Jack, doesn't matter. They stood up there, they felt the nerves. How many people have we seen tee off number 1 and hit a poor shot with this wide open fairway? It happens every year. And I think it's because they have the nerves. And once they get off of there, they tend to bring it back in a little bit. But I think that's a huge spot right there. If you can control your nerves on number 1, you're going to be okay.
But Tiger historically hits his first tee shot really bad everywhere, and here he's put it over here a lot.
Well,
A
So
mile,
so
yeah.
so here's the question to you guys: does Tiger take an iron off of 1 this year?
Tiger doesn't take a driver to Augusta.
You are on crack. He is so stubborn and will never admit that he couldn't hit a driver.
Well,
And he's
sure.
already switched to Rory Shaft and doesn't miss a fairway with it.
Listen, I saw the stat, I saw the tweet. No one hits 35 of 36 fairways at Augusta. It doesn't happen. It didn't happen. And I am one of the biggest Tiger fans in the world.
No, you're not.
But I'm also a realist and know golf. And you don't hit 35 of 36 fairways by changing a shaft. You don't.
I think he's gonna have to hit 7 or 8 drivers at least on this course. I mean, there's so many holes where obviously every par 5 he's gonna have to pull one out. You know, some of the longer par 4s. Is it number 11? You know, over 500-yard par 4.
We'll get
Just gonna
there.
have to get it down there, but yeah.
So go back to the tricky green. We were talking a little bit before. I think it was Ernie Els last year that 5-putted this one.
Yeah.
From 7 feet or so. So it can be tricky, even though you can get on.
Oh
the
yeah,
green.
these greens
So,
are going to be rolling like glass, so they're going to be moving pretty good. But
anything you guys want to say about 2 or 3?
I mean, I feel like 2, you have to get off to number 1. If you come off of there with a par, you got to go here and birdie.
It is a par 5.
Yep.
It does play
575 distance.
plays under par
Plays
by
under par.
A full third of a stroke. So just about a third of your field on average, obviously, is going to birdie the hole.
Yep.
So you need to go. It does produce eagles over the years, so it can be eagled, which is obviously a nice starting.
Yeah, it's a great
to
way to
your
kick
round.
off your round.
And then number 4
Um,
was the drivable, right?
Right, yeah, you saw Rory drove that green last year. A lot of players go for it. It's 350 yards. You can kind of bail out right on it, depending on where the pin's at. So you can kind of bail out to the right and chip on. You don't see a lot of players, as much as you would think, play back on that hole because you got all those bunkers.
Fairway bunkers.
Right there. But
And there is a greenside bunker,
Yeah,
but
there's
these
not a lot of trouble up there, so it seems
But-
like it's pull the trigger and go.
Right,
and
just hit it.
the greenside bunkers are so pristine. Obviously, it's Augusta, so they're not an issue. People aim for them at times. So
Yeah, because you know you're getting up and down
Yeah.
at them. They're not hard to play out of.
yep.
Yeah.
What was the name of that hole, Matt?
Flowering Peach.
There you go.
It's one of my favorite holes.
Okay. You want to go 4?
All right.
4 is
Hardest hole on the course.
yes. I mean, it's a monster par 4.
I think it's just
Or par
typical,
3.
typical 6-iron.
Yeah, for Rory.
I think.
Yeah.
I think some guys might be pulling out a hybrid on
Yeah,
this hole, depending on where the wind's at.
I'll be interested to see how many days it plays over 230.
Zach Johnson's
Yeah.
bringing out a.
Oh, Jack's gonna
Yeah.
bring a driver. If that wind's blowing in his face, he's driver's in a lob wedge still.
Yeah.
So besides being long, there is a huge bunker right or front and left, and the
Yeah.
green's kind of a unique shape. It's pretty narrow on the right side, so that can be really tricky, and it does play over par historically as well.
Yeah, I feel like this hole is a hole you take a par on and you thank your lucky stars and move on because
Yeah.
it can produce some big numbers if you're not careful at that distance.
And there's no water there, so
Which is kind of crazy. Imagine if they had water somewhere on that hole.
Yeah. You can hit it off the back too. I've seen people hit it into the woods back behind
Yeah.
the hole. It's actually a lot closer than it kind of looks in that picture.
okay. 5 is just an average par 4. A couple fairway bunkers, obviously a bunker on the backside. There's like 43-ish bunkers on the course, so there are bunkers on just probably every hole.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure, but I think there's one on every hole.
Yeah, this one plays uphill. The tee shot's uphill, and then you're kind of hitting down into that green right there.
And this is this illustration I like here. I feel like, and I don't have any data to back this up, but players
I like
that
when you have that.
move the ball right to left
Yeah.
do well at this course. And this is a perfect example.
Lefties.
Yeah, lefties, because it's easier to hit the ball.
It's easier
For a
to
righty
cut it.
guy, it's easier to cut the ball. So lefties, it's a cut. But
Sightlines.
you look at this, and you have to flirt with disaster if you're a righty trying to play a cut into this thing and go out here. If you're a left or a hooker of the ball, you just aim out here and just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Rory, Jordan, I'm trying to think, JT, all those guys can hook that ball no problem. I think that's a hole you're going to see several birdies on from people that can hook that ball.
Then we got a par 5 to on the or par 3 on the 6 there, 180 yards.
This one plays downhill too. Pretty tough green. You hit way downhill. It's 180 yards, but you see guys pull 9 irons on this.
Yeah, I think
hole.
it plays closer to like 165 or 168 if I remember right.
It's a short par 3, not that difficult.
I see we had an eagle at one point.
So that's a hole in one.
Yes, that is. But yeah, so that hole's nothing major on that hole.
Nope. So let's finish up the front 9 here.
All right, moving on.
Straightforward par 4 on 7. The green has 5 bunkers around it. So when we talk about our stats and what we want to look for, proximity and greens in regulation is really
Yes.
important. This is why when there's 5 greens around it,
5 bunkers.
5 bunkers around the green.
Yes.
There you go. So
Yeah,
it's pretty narrow. I think you see a lot of guys hit irons on this hole, and then the approach shot is uphill, so you got to hit uphill and around 5 bunkers. It's a tough approach.
yeah,
shot.
I mean 450. You think they're going to hit their iron 250?
yeah,
287.
Yeah. So that leaves, for math purposes, just a couple hundred yards in. So there's
Yeah.
really no reason to hit driver. We're talking about Tiger hitting 7, 8 drivers on the course. This isn't one of those.
No,
holes.
I don't feel like
No.
this is one for him.
He is going to have to pull it on 8 though.
for
So
sure.
it's a par 5.
Yeah, it's a. This is. I really like this hole. The second shot on this hole. Watching the second shot on this hole. I don't know how many times I've seen him bounce it off this mound and it rolls up there, and all of a sudden it looks like a shot that they're going to be lucky to make a 5 on, and all of a sudden they got an eagle putt from 6 foot.
Right, it's a blind shot. You got to kind of draw it in there. You almost got to hit a pretty good cut off the tee, and then you have to draw it around coming into the second shot. It's a long shot.
Yeah, this course in general doesn't set up for straight hitters. You're going to have to be able to work it both directions to score well here in general. And then we finish up with a par 4 as well. 460. Comes back uphill, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys remember, Tiger hit a shot on this hole. He was over on the left here, and he hit like a big hook around. And if you saw it, you saw him running out on the fairway to watch it. It was one of the most historic shots on this hole because it doglegs so much to the left.
Yeah, this to me is an iron shot for Tiger. I mean, I don't know.
It's a pretty narrow shoot.
Yeah, you're either gonna have to. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you're gonna be able to pull driver on that hole.
Yeah.
Not Tiger, because he's right.
What? What do you mean? He has a new shaft.
It's
He's
the
going to hit it.
same as Rory's. He can hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rory hits it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. But that hole typically doesn't play that hard, so I think you're going to see a lot of irons off the tee, keep it in the fairway, punch it up to the green, 2-putt, and get out of there.
Now we move to the best 9 holes on the on the tour, the back 9 at Augusta.
Yeah.
So, 10, par 4, almost 500 yards.
Monster.
It's almost as long as the next hole, which is also par 4 and a monster.
Yes.
So it starts off the back really tough. So
This tee shot, it's straight downhill. There's like a hill. The players just try to hit it down on that hill, and it rolls for a mile up, in front of that bunker. So you don't see a lot of guys actually hit driver on that hole. A lot of guys actually hit like a 3-wood or.
Yeah, because if you hit the top of that hill and roll down.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So it plays shorter than that yardage because it's so far downhill on it.
11 is one of my favorite holes on the course.
Very interesting hole. I really like it. It's one of the reasons I picked some of my stats. So we've seen this hole. We talked about this earlier. All your guys are going to hit their driver or their drive out into here somewhere, and then they come in at an angle towards this green, and you got this water up here, and they always bail out right if they don't hit the green.
There's a big swell right here.
Yeah.
And everything collects. And you see a lot of people.
It's hard to get up and down.
It's hard to get up and down in here. And there are very similar spots on other holes to this. And one of my key stats, and we'll get into it in the next podcast or later, is scrambling. Because you're not going to hit every green in here. and you have to get up and down from spots like that to be in
Well,
contention.
And then you're hitting from this swell here, and there's water here and water here.
Yeah,
so
you're
they,
hitting towards water.
They
You're
just-
hitting straight downhill
Yeah.
on that pitch. It's a tough pitch.
Yeah. So then they tuck it on the edges
Yeah.
and really torture you there. So 12's probably the most famous hole on the course, right?
Oh yeah, Golden Bell.
So
Jordan Spieth hates this hole.
you think?
He has the last couple of years.
So Race Creek runs right across the front of it, and that's where Jordan's obviously dunked a few. 2 1 year and 1 then last year. So 3 in 2 years, something like that.
So I know a lot of people, because I used to be this way, look at this and think it's 155 yards. That's a pitching wedge or a 9-iron, maybe an 8-iron for some of these guys, mostly downhill. How are they missing this green? How are they putting it in the water?
Well, the green is about the shape of this table, and it's as narrow as this table.
So it is. And what's funny is we have a course locally that has this same hole minus the water. It has 3 bunkers in the front. And I've been out there and played, and we've got a spot we can hit balls from at 152 yards. And you would be absolutely amazed at how hard it is to stick that green. Because everybody thinks these guys are great with wedges. And that's basically a wedge or a short iron.
Yep.
And 155 yards, they should be able to stick that in within 20 feet. You can't tell me that flag and that water is within 20 feet of each other, because it's not. But Jordan Spieth had to lead and put it in the water from 155 yards.
Put it in there twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
It just shows you the pressure
Of
and
a
difficulty
Sunday.
of this hole. And it's just 155 yards, and that just boggles my mind.
Yeah, it doesn't help that long isn't good either. There's a bunker back there. There's a little swell, and it goes up in the pine straw. If you're up on that hill pine straw, there's no way you're getting it on the green and keeping it on the green.
No,
and not
I think
going
this
back
is
into
one
it.
of the most beautifully designed holes to mentally tear down a player.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of swirling winds on this hole. It's really open on the right, so the winds really swirl around, and players have a tough time judging.
And it is in the heart of Amen Corner, obviously. So there's the best or the most fans in this area because you can see so much of the course from this angle there.
Yep.
So then you move on to 13, which is a par 5, right? Yep. Sergio eagled it last year coming in.
This is the iconic Phil
Actually-
Mickelson from the wood shot.
No, he eagled 16.
That's right, yes.
Stay tuned. He eagles one of these
Yes.
coming down the stretch.
Yes, this is Azalea is the
That's what he named his kid after.
Sergio.
Sergio. We
Yeah.
talk about his baby a lot. you
Yeah.
know.
He's got baby issues.
Not no more.
Not no more?
Nope.
He should be able to play this hole pretty well, right?
Yeah,
would
you would think.
Now, let me ask you this. If he's in the lead on Sunday and dunks it in the creek, does he rename his kid?
Nah.
It's early.
Yeah. Kid doesn't know its name yet.
Right.
Everybody else does, though.
Yeah, well, things change.
All right. So,
So yeah, so that's the. It's a very simple.
so if you go
straightforward.
straight, you're ended up in the pine straw. That's where Phil was when he hit his, 5-iron at that point
Probably.
and stuck it to 15 feet and
Yeah.
hit the putt for an eagle.
Which is one of my most favorite shots.
So it
From
comes
this course.
down to here, and then it goes straight downhill to the pin.
And it's another example of how you need to be able to curl the ball from right to left. Because if you can aim off these trees
Yeah.
and curl it
And
to the
just
left,
peel
you're
it
gonna
back.
because the whole, if I remember right, the whole fairway slants,
Right.
Yeah.
and then you're gonna get
You
that
gotta go
curl.
get it
And
and it runs.
I can't remember who
You got an uphill Y, and you got to hit it into a green left.
Yeah.
who drove it last year and only had like a 9-iron. in it
Bubba
or
Watson
something.
just cuts it right over those trees,
goes
hits it
over
a
the
mile
tree.
high, and
Yep.
just hooks it right in there. He gets all that land over there he can hit into because he's so
It's
long.
crazy.
So much fun. And then 14,
Chinese fur.
just a boring old par 4.
Yeah.
It's
It's not that narrow either. It's
No.
pretty
Yeah.
open.
but it does play a little over par.
Just slightly.
So, all right, not much to talk about there.
No.
There's actually no bunkers on that hole, so you were wrong. There isn't one on it every hole.
That was you that said that, but that's cool. It's alright.
I don't think so.
We'll check tape.
All right.
15, Firethorn.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite holes. You can really put it down there and just kind of hit downhill, and there's a lot of risk reward in this hole.
This is the one that Sergio eagled.
Yeah.
So one of those, I told you.
But more importantly,
it's 15.
this is the one that Tiger Woods got the BS drop call on.
Right, he would have won that Masters.
Guaranteed.
Probably not, but I can say that.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy.
But yeah, pretty straightforward par 5, 530 yards, several eagles, lots of birdies. The only thing you do have to contend with is you've got water short. You do have a little bit of water long left.
It's a long, narrow green, so when you're coming in with a long iron, you can't be short, and the green's not very
No.
long. So you have to, if you're going to go for it, you have to be accurate with
Because
your
Tiger
distance.
hit the green, didn't he? And it spun back.
Right. Yeah, if you hit it anywhere on the front half of the screen,
false
you'll
front,
you'll
yeah.
see a lot of them just
Yeah.
fall off into the water there.
It's a cool hole, though. I like this hole.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And then 16 is actually my favorite hole on Sunday, because they tuck that pin right down here in the valley, and you hit up right of it,
Yeah.
and everything just comes filtered
filtering
right
in.
back. And it's just so much fun to see it hit and just wonder how close it's going to get.
Well, it can
and
change
just,
the game.
and just watch it come right back. Cooch hit a hole in one last year on this hole. Zach Johnson came real close. It produces a lot of close shots, but the green isn't easy to putt right there. So you could be within 5 feet
Oh, yeah, I watched several people miss birdie putts from
and
5
still
feet.
miss the birdie putt.
Yeah.
So
What,
But it's-
what's the shot you think of on this hole? Maybe the greatest shot ever in this tournament.
is it
2005.
Tiger's
You know
chip,
what? You know what I'm talking about.
the
Tiger's
iconic
chip.
commercial?
Right.
Yeah. So
right. That was on this hole.
he was over here somewhere, and
Yeah.
it chipped back, and it came back down, and yeah.
Set up the slope and down.
Yeah, but that's not what I think of actually when I think of hitting it and coming back down the hill. But yeah,
And what's funny about this hole is this hole can be a game changer.
Mhm.
Because if you miss the green and you're not Tiger Woods sans 2005, you're going to have
It's
a hard
awful.
time
getting up and down.
getting up and down. And that's the thing. If you can play this hole the right way and make a birdie, you're picking up strokes on the field.
So like I said on Sunday, they tuck that pin right here so you can go right and come back. But if you're short and left, there's a lot of water there.
Yeah.
So it's very intriguing, this hole itself. So a lot of drama, a lot of things can change on it, even though it's just a tiny little par 3. 17.
Par 4, 440 yards. Couple bunkers by the green. Not much. It's a semi-narrow hole. You've got to put the ball on the right side of the fairway. This one's downhill, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, this one's downhill. You can kind of hit a cut off the tee there, and then approach
Aim it
that
at
thing.
these trees and cut it off and hopefully aim out
Yeah.
or land it out
Right.
here somewhere.
If you go left, you're going to be in some trouble.
Yep.
And then 18, such an iconic hole. It's not one of my favorite holes to watch, but watching those guys walk up the 18th fairway is so cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It's honestly kind of a boring hole, really.
Yeah, because you just put it at the bunker and peel it right.
Right.
I mean, even if you don't, I mean, it's just a little dog leg right. The green's really big. You can use
And isn't on Sunday the flag is in kind of that swell?
it's
so-
just under thing, so they can hit the backstop and kind of. Bring
And as
it
long
back
as you're
down.
below that or
Yeah.
equal to it, it's a pretty straight putt,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
remember right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's a tough hole because it's 18 at the Masters. And if you're coming up that thing on Sunday with the lead or with a shot, I guarantee you it plays a lot harder
Yeah.
than it looks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we went through a preview. I think let's just talk briefly in general about what you think it takes to score here well.
Birdies
Birdies, yeah, usually.
and not big numbers.
How do you get to birdies though?
By avoiding big numbers.
Okay, you're
Scram-
I mean, it is.
scrambling,
scrambling.
3-putt avoidance.
It's really hard to putt here, so if you get a really good putter, it's
Yeah.
bent grass greens that
They're
run
gonna,
like this kitchen table. It's
yeah, they're gonna move.
yeah, it flies.
But and you know, I joke and say birdies in big numbers, but that's what you have to do. You have to avoid the big numbers, the 4 and 5 on a par 3 and the 6 and 7 on a par 5, and give yourself the ability to make a few birdies. You don't have to go out, excuse me, and shoot a 6 under the first day to be in contention.
Charlie Hoffman shot a 65 7 under last year,
And then
finished 40 something.
Yeah, so if you go out and you say, okay, here are my birdie holes, and you get a couple birdies on the front and 1 or 2 on the back, and avoid the big numbers and get, you're going to make a bogey. It's Augusta. It's going to happen. You're going to finish around 2 under. You do that again the next day, you're going to be 4 under. So it's giving you're giving yourself opportunities at birdies and avoiding the squares, the big squares, the double squares on your scorecard. And that's so I mean when I say birdies and avoid the big numbers. You don't have to go out there and drive the ball a mile. You don't have to go out there and hit every green in regulation. You don't have to get up and down on everyone. But give yourself opportunities and avoid major disasters.
So when I think of Augusta, I think of you need to hit it long because it is a long course. It does favor a bomber. I think of having to have good ball striking and hitting your irons pristine and being able to putt. So without getting into everything that we're going to talk about stat-wise next time, that's in general what I think you need. You can't really cover up a weakness.
No, Augusta will show your flaws. And you could be ball striking it with the best of them. But if you're putting Jordan Spieth, it's going to be a problem. I'm a little concerned with what he's going to do this week. This could really bring out some putting woes for him. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he gets it fixed at the Houston, because I know these guys are running the greens up at Houston to be similar to this.
And they are bent like this.
Yeah,
they're not pure bent, but we won't get into that.
They're close enough to simulate the greens here, so their guys are going there to try to figure stuff out. I don't care how far you hit the ball. I don't care how good you are off the tee. If you can't putt here, you are done.
So, speaking of that, leads us into kind of our preview of trends and things like that. So, players need to see this course. They need to feel it, play it, been under pressure on it to do well here in general. Fuzzy Zoeller back in 1979 was the last first-time player that won.
So what you're saying is no debutant is going to win?
No debutant is going to win.
Okay.
A debutant is a first-time player at the Masters rookie.
Yes.
So before that it was 35, and then obviously the other time was the very first time they had the Masters.
So what is that, 3?
So three and none since 79. So
chances are...
Since any of us were born, there hasn't been a rookie
Okay, so
winner.
tell me this. Is there any debutant in the field that you think even has a chance?
You want me to tell you who they are?
Yeah.
If you got them.
Yep. Patrick Cantlay.
No, he's not going to do it.
Shoffley.
Nope.
Tony Finau.
He can't putt. Hao-Tong Lee.
Sharma.
No.
Kazire.
That's your boy.
Yeah.
Kyle Stanley.
Kyle Stanley technically has played before, but it hasn't been in the last 5 years. So
really?
I count him as a debutant.
Okay. You got Austin Cook. Wes Bryant.
Wes Bryant can actually putt, but he can't drive the ball. He's actually from South Carolina, really close to Augusta.
It's not far at all.
So that's a very intriguing storyline there, is him getting into the Masters, and I'm sure he's played there before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting.
Okay, so of the rookies...
There's a few more, but they're
not.
They're really low.
Obviously the amateur.
There are amateurs, yep.
Okay, so of the main rookies...
Yep.
Who finishes the highest?
Xander.
Xander?
I think Cantlay's chipping takes him out of it, and I think Finau's putting takes him out of it.
Okay. Joe?
I like Tony Finau. I just think he can really dominate the par fives. I know he's not a great putter, by any means, but
That's, I
That's putting it nicely.
he can set himself up on some of these holes. I think that he can have a decent finish.
I'll be interested to see how he fares this week. If
Yeah.
he can gain strokes putting this week, because he is in the Houston Open, and then going to Augusta from there. So, anybody else?
No, I'm with Joe. I mean, Finau is going to be my rookie bet behind Schauffele, just in front of Schauffele. But personally, I don't think either of them are going to win.
I honestly am not taking probably not taking any debutants in any of my DraftKings.
Yeah.
It's an easy fade there. They're not going to win, and if you want to get in the Millionaire Maker and you want to have a chance, you're going to have the winner. You can't have people that have no shot at winning.
No.
And to me, debutantes have no shot at winning.
Oh, I will be 100% debutanteless.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Any other trends you want to talk about? So we have a bunch of them.
Yeah, so you found or retweeted this really cool article on betting.betfair.com
Yep.
of some trends over the last 10 years, and it looks like they've done this prior years.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool, the data they put together to tell us who has the best chance to win based on the last 10 years. And, I mean...
So, for example, 6 of the last 10 were in their 30s. 10 out of 10 were under 40. So, that leaves Pat Perez out, Phil out. Tiger Woods ain't winning it. So, interesting fact like that. 7 out of 10 were aged 35 or under. So then you got... that's interesting to me because that means that you have to be comfortable with your game. You can't be this young guy that's still trying to figure out his game. He's got to be old enough.
Well, how old was Jordan Spieth when he won?
Well, he's one of those guys that aren't there.
What about Tiger?
Last 10 years. Has he won in the last 10 years? No.
All right.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Dustin
then,
Johnson goes in there nicely.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. With 10 out of 10 under 40,
Yes.
do you agree that Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, I'm trying to think of anybody over 40 that really has a chance.
Pat Perez. Lights
That
out.
really has a chance. That really has a chance.
Paul Casey's 39 or something, right?
Yeah, he's not quite 40, but he's close.
So
Stenson's probably 40. Stenson's in his 40s.
Is he?
I think so.
Okay, we'll find out. You're giving them 0% chance to win. You give Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods 0%.
We're talking trends here.
I know, but that's a trend over 10 years.
So
This is saying they have a 0% chance to win. Do you believe that? It's a yes or no question.
I don't think you can believe that.
it's a nice trend to fall back on, but I probably will take a couple in DraftKings.
Do you believe that 100% that Tiger Woods?
Yes, I believe.
Okay, so you believe they have 0% chance.
0% chance.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
The Masters favorite.
Yeah,
He has 0% chance.
0%.
Okay, I like it.
Thanks for pigeonholing me into that one.
Well, I needed an answer. But, here's the thing. I get trends, I get the odds, and I get all of it. I understand. I mean, because Tiger Woods is the favorite. We know that. But every trend on this article says Tiger Woods has 0% chance winning.
Not necessarily. We'll get to some that...
Which one? Which one does he fit in? He's played in at least 3 Masters.
There you go.
Okay. 10 of 10 have played in at least 1 Masters.
That goes back to the debutante. So, it could have been 40 of 40, really.
Yeah.
39, really. I guess, because he won 39 years ago.
So, so a couple that I find...
2 out of 10 had won it before.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years.
So a couple that I find interesting, 10 out of 10 had made the cut the previous year.
So, I'm having a problem with this one. I love the stat, and I'll probably lean on it. What do I do with DJ? DJ withdrew last year.
DJ didn't play.
Okay. So then,
I don't think you can put DJ in this.
there's one of them that says he has to have played the year before.
So Bubba Watson would be out.
Yeah,
He missed the cut
Bubba
last
missed the
year.
cut last year. I mean, his form's a lot better. He's not playing a mini
Yeah.
golf putt ball anymore.
Yeah.
5 of the last 10 had already won earlier that season. So, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Rahm.
JT.
Yeah, did I say Jordan? I meant JT. Yeah, Jordan has not won.
No.
Ricky's won.
Rory's run one.
Yep. So there's a lot of big dogs there, but Jordan's not one of them. Tiger Woods is not one of them.
No.
So that's interesting.
So it's a neat article, and if you guys get a chance, check it out. But at the bottom of it, it kind of sums everything up.
Well, here's one last one.
Go ahead.
10 of the last 10 winners were not world number one.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to say. They sum it up with your most powerful criteria. Under 40, ranked in the top 30, played in at least one Masters, had a top 30 at Augusta, made the cut at Augusta last year, posted a top 10 this season. You are not the defending champion,
So bye,
and
Sergio.
not world number one. So, who is Ron playing in Houston?
No.
No, JT, sorry. No, he's not either. So there can't be a new world number one.
No.
Okay. So who's number one right now?
DJ.
He done.
He done, huh?
I didn't play last year. He
Yeah.
missed the cut technically.
Yep.
And he's world number one. So do you put money on DJ? Because he's got 3 of them, and he's almost got as many as Tiger Woods against him.
So I started my prep today, and I went through a lot of stuff. I will not have a lineup with DJ in it.
You will not have one lineup.
I will. I'll have him in at least one.
How many lineups you gonna do?
Probably like 7 or 8.
I'm gonna do 3, and I won't have him in.
I'm doing at least 20. I might do 40.
150.
We'll see.
All right. Well, anything else we want to talk about?
I've got tons of stuff I want to talk about. Tons.
Well,
It's the Masters.
tell us what the trends were to win the Masters of that.
Oh, so then there's haven't played so many rounds, but have played so many rounds earlier this year. So they get to knock out a few different people that way. But the conclusion says that this year's winner will be Ricky Fowler or Mark Leishman.
Putting any stock in that?
I like Ricky a lot. I believe he is a pure ball striker. His driver is really on, and if he can turn his putting around, he is one of the best putters on tour. I love Ricky here.
Okay, but how is he putting right now?
He also scares the shit out of me because he misses a lot of cuts in majors.
Yeah. But how's Ricky putting right now?
He's probably not putting right now. He's in bed. It's pretty late. But,
I'll be looking to see how he putts this week for sure.
yeah, he is playing the Houston Open, so it's interesting to see how he putts. And people that know say that it's easier for a good putter to get it going on fast greens.
Yep.
I mean, Rory is not the best putter on tour, and he putted by far the best at API, which had the fastest greens so far this year.
Yep.
So going to Houston this week, that's going to have 12.5 greens. If Ricky starts putting, Jordan starts putting, it's going to make it even more intriguing for next week.
Yeah, I don't see Jordan getting his putting back. I hope he does. I don't know.
I think it's almost mental at this point.
I think it is too. I think he's having such a mental breakdown with his putting that it's just causing issues.
Yeah, it's just inside of 10 feet. He can't.
Yeah, remember last year or 2 years ago when he was Mr. Automatic?
Mm-hmm.
He was really good from, what,
Every feet.
5 to something, but then there's a gap from like 8 to 20 feet that he wasn't any better than average. But then he was really
From
above
like 20
average,
feet plus?
from
or
25 to
or
50
something.
or something.
Yeah,
feet.
he was like leading the
Leading.
field by just leaps and bounds. Yeah.
So there's always been, he's never been the best putter from every range, but
No, but
when you're making bombs and then you make those short ones, people tend to forget about the 12-footer that you missed because everybody missed.
Yeah, but he's like something in the Houston field right now. He's like 112th out of like 130 or something.
I mean, he ranks strokes gained putting on tour in the 150s.
Yeah, so I don't think you're going to go to Houston with that, putt well, and come to the Masters and say, I've got it. It's ready. I hope he does well.
Didn't we discuss this right before API and how bad Rory was, and he went out and gained 10 strokes putting that week and won the tournament?
Yeah, but that's not the Masters.
You might want to talk to Brad Faxon,
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to work for him.
It worked for Rory. I mean,
Or just go take your putter to your manufacturer like Bubba did, and they'll take 2 putters and smash them together, and you'll make every putt like Bubba did at match play last week.
It's possible.
So
Fowler or Leishman, who you put your money on?
Fowler.
Fowler?
yeah.
Leishman's form isn't what it was last FedEx.
No.
So
If he was coming in with that, I'd be all over him.
I would too.
I take neither.
You take neither?
No, I don't trust either of them.
It's interesting. I was looking today at early projections. Take a guess what do you think Leishman's projected ownership is?
What's his price?
79 or
79?
82.
82? It's either going to be low or high. That price, 34.
I would say 20.
2.2%.
Give me all Leishman. Why are people not on Leishman at that price?
Well, let's see.
Who's he got in that field?
Do what?
Who's he got in that area?
Noren. Hideki's a little bit above him. Fleetwood's only $300 more than him.
Who's lower?
Noren's $100 cheaper. Adam Scott's $200 cheaper. Louis Stenson's right there. Then you got Reed and Kuchar. I mean, this field is stacked. And then you got Hatton. So, I mean, there's a lot of people, and it's easy to get him. Thomas Peters is 83, and he's 82. Guess what Thomas Peters is? Percent.
It should be like half.
Try 11.5%.
Give me Leishman all day long.
Now, Peters has only played Augusta once and finished 4th last year.
I don't get it.
His form's not great going in.
I don't care.
I'm
2%
I
on
get
Leishman?
No, I'm saying Peters' form's not that great right now, and
Get Peters out of the field. I don't care about Peters.
I wouldn't. I'm a big Thomas Peters guy. I liked him before the Ryder Cup last year, and he did really well. And I had a lot of him in match play last week, and it kind of burnt me. But his form's just not there right now. So to be 5 times as much as Leishman's is a little crazy to me.
That's just.
But Ricky's percent is 16.4.
I think the ownership's kind of low just because the field's so stacked.
Yeah.
So.
Right now, we don't really need to talk about it, but Justin Rose has the highest percent owned at 29%.
What's Tiger?
16.
It's lower than
Jordan
I
is
think.
21.
So Justin Rose is 37 years old. Fits in that criteria pretty well.
We can look at his history here. He obviously finished 2nd last year in the playoff.
Yeah.
He's
If
got
he
a-
doesn't
he's got a
win
10.
Houston,
He's got a T2.
I think Rose, you need to be on Rose.
He's got a T10. He's got a T2 after 3 years ago. He's got a T14, and 5 years ago it was T25.
And what's
So-
his price this year?
92.
92.
That's a good price right there.
I mean, he's the most owned in the field.
Playing really good.
Rahm's right above him at 9%. Tell me this course doesn't fit Rahm's game. Long, straight, and can putt.
I don't like J-Rod in the major. Not yet.
You think he's a head case?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think
he'll lose.
he's got that Spanish influenza in him.
You're not gonna have
Yeah, it took
back-to-back
Sergio
finishes.
19
Yeah,
tries.
I mean, come on.
So you think J-Rod's going to win in his second?
I don't think so.
All right.
I
well-
think DeChambeau has a better chance than Rahm.
Shh. Don't be talking up my boy.
Just saying. Just saying.
He didn't play last year.
I don't care. Not to win, but to be better, finish
He
better.
was up there a couple years ago.
21st
and
is the
fell
only time
apart at the end
On
of it.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think a lot of people like him. But I like him. He's playing really well coming into this. He's one of the purest ball strikers, even though he's got same length irons and the one plane swing. And he's the mad scientist of golf, right?
That's what they say.
What do you think the air density is in Augusta?
I don't know, but I'm sure he does.
I don't think Johnny Miller's gonna pick him. I can guarantee that.
No, Johnny Miller will.
This isn't on NBC, so luckily we don't have to listen to Johnny Miller.
He's not a fan.
Hello, friends. We get Jim Nance.
I don't know what.
Maybe we can get Tony Romo in there with Jim Nance.
I just like to mute it sometimes and watch it.
Yeah. So, all right. I think this is all we have for the Masters preview.
Yep.
I'm excited. I mean, like we said, we could talk all night
Oh, I could sit here all night and do this.
and then start talking about the guys and their chances and everything else. It seems like a lot of fun. So, we'll be doing that soon.
Yeah.
And we'll get it out to you guys. We want to get a course preview and a tournament trends to you.
Yep.
So like and subscribe our page so you can see when we post our full pod.
Yep.
And then remember to follow us on Twitter so you can get our live viewership show.
Yep.
And
Do that.
Q&A on
Yeah, let us
Wednesday.
know if you guys have any questions you want answered on the next podcast. Anything you want us to look into. Just let us know. Comment, tweet us, YouTube us, whatever you do out there in that world, I don't know. And we'll try to get them answered.
I'd like to thank Joe Stratton for joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at JStratty31.
You knew it this week.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then Matt and I at Fantasy Golf Gods. That's us. So, till next time, good luck.
Take care, guys.